Hey there, this is LA Calling, and you're watching Brutally Delicious with Bruce Moore.
Hey, welcome to Brutally Delicious. I'm Bruce Moore. Today we've got another great show for you. This time I'm going to be joined by the guys in Artemesis. And if you stay tuned, we'll see what they have cooked up for us today.
I'm Sam Johnson.
I'm Matt Meyer.
We're in the band Artemesis.
For those not familiar with the band, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
We're a metal band. We like to party. We like to write awesome music. Basically, I feel if you're going to be in any sort of band, you need to have passion and some sort of a driven thing behind it. For us, it's a little bit different. We're trying to create music that people actually want to listen to and can actually hear the riffs inside, so it doesn't sound like jumbled sound. We basically just want to, make our mark, and hopefully people like what they hear.
It's really kind of like new meets old. It's kind of like Miley Cyrus meets Cannibal Corpse. There's really something for everyone. And, there's no reason that anyone with ears shouldn't like it. Because it's good.
We're trying to go, we want to be like brutally beautiful, if that makes sense. Like the,
Brutiful.
Brutiful. Should be a type of fruit. But
Well, like you were saying with passion, so it'd actually be passion fruit.
Passion fruit. We were passion fruit for your ear holes.
You guys working on any new material? If so, when can we expect it?
We are working on new material, in fact. We're working on the second EP release to the follow-up of our landmark debut, Transgression, which should be available in
October. They had Chad Byrne was the original vocalist of Artemesis, and he left the band, and I got asked to join, and I'm putting everything I have into it. And they're a great group of guys, great music. This new EP is, we're kind of focusing on human deception as the overall construct of the album. The title of the new album is called The Human Construct, so it goes kind of deep in the thoughts and minds of us as human beings and how we treat each other and portray ourselves in the real world.
Along those same lines, what's your writing process like? Do you guys all write together? Is it more the efforts of one particular member of the band?
Basically happens is the four instrument players will lock themselves in a room until a song has been written musically, and then we will tell Sam, the vocalist, that there's a new song, and then he will overlay it with his verbal poetry.
Very well said, Matt. Very well said. My writing process is a little different. I sit down, listen to the riffs and the songs that they've completed, and try to envision in my head what spikes that song. What's going to make people think that is. I'm basically what I want to portray is pushing my voice through the music to the point where they flows beautifully with each other. Some, different bands use different ways of writing music. Some people have themes. Some people have what they want to portray in a song. The way I'm going at it right now is what means this to me. What does this mean to me? What does this mean? What can I tell the world? How can I change somebody's demeanor? How can I change somebody's thinking process? That's what I want to do with my lyrics.
When you write, are you writing with the live setting in mind? Or is that not an issue at all? You're just writing the song for the song's sake?
Absolutely, positively, yes. That is half the reason we started Artemesis in the first place, was because we thought to ourselves it shouldn't be a special occasion when a heavy metal band sounds good in concert. And when we write our music, we always think, is this going to sound like music when we play in a concert? Or is this going to sound like static when we play in a concert? And if it would sound like static, we wouldn't write it. So we absolutely write with the live setting in mind.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with that because that's the only way to really do things if you want to make an impression.
The whole reason we started the band in the first place is because we kept going to these metal concerts that sucked. And like we go to these metal concerts and you hear nothing. You'd hear guitar static over ear-piercing drum noise. It sounded like crap, and it made it really not fun. And it suddenly made sense to us why modern metal bands can't seem to make any money because they sound like crap. So with that in mind, we decided to make a band that sounded good live.
What's the story behind the name of the band, Artemesis?
It's actually, Artemesis is actually a made-up word. It's not really anything, but if you technically had to break it down to some sort of a meaning, it would be vomiting art, because the term mesis is a medical term for throwing up.
Keep in mind that kind of is an afterthought. Like you were saying, it's a made-up word. When the name was being thought of, we had no inclination that it would technically mean vomiting art. That just kind of like is a beautiful accident. What it really is like, in this day and age, there's a lot of bands out there, and a lot of cool names are taken. So you can't just call your band,
Fluffy's Rowboat.
Yeah, you can't call your band Danger Shark or Hardwood Floors. You know what I mean? There's a couple routes you can take. You can take like the gross out route and call it like, hamster genocide, but that's not very nice. Then you can take the really long route and call your band like, recalcitrant brick cement. Or you can just make up a word, which is a little risky because it might sound really weird. But, when I was thinking of the name, I basically sat in my room and I was like, what's this piece of crap made up word? Artemesis.
Matt must have been drinking when he did this.
No, I wasn't drinking. I just had a lot of time on my hands.
Do you have any rituals before you hit the stage? If so, what are they?
There's some alcohol consumption, very limited, just to loosen up. There is some medicine smoking by some members.
I take part in the medicine smoking.
To help loosen up, because in Colorado apparently it's medicine. There's also a little bit of, for the guitar players and drummer, and bass player, there's some, instrumental aerobics, a lot of that. I don't know, what do you do?
For me, my ritual usually consists of me having to be away from people, because I will go around the block if we're at a venue and just unload in the back by the dumpsters just to get my voice in tune, Like when we were opening we played for the band called Gorod from France a while back, and I took a stroll down the 16th Street Mall just screaming at random trash cans to get my voice on par for that. So that's kind of my ritual.
Well, you said you unloaded on the trash can.
I unloaded, yeah, I did. I mean, I was screaming at the trash can.
He loves trash cans.
Trash cans are great.
So that's why I unloaded on it.
Everybody needs a trash can.
Do you have any touring plans?
Yes, we do actually. We're planning a national Midwest, West Coast tour in October. We'll actually be leaving September 26th from Denver, Colorado, and we're gonna. It's about 6 states, and we're just gonna do the best we can. Obviously, it's gonna be like our first tour, so just kind of gotta roll the punches. That's how it goes out there in the old abyss.
What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you on tour or at one of your shows?
The strangest thing that's ever happened to me on tour was I was in a band called Distance and Design, and we were driving down Huntington Beach Highway in LA, and some bicyclist got hit by a car, and I don't think he made it. So that was pretty intense.
I was very sheltered as a child, and I've never been on tour, so I can't really answer that question.
What would fans be surprised to find on your iPod?
Kesha.
I think fans would be surprised on my iPod to see Miley Cyrus songs on there. I only bust them out when I'm really drunk.
I mean, I'm an avid listener of the artist known as Kesha, because there's a lot of pop music floating around out there, a lot of lyrics about partying and sex, but a lot of it's just really PG-13. Whereas Kesha lays it all out there, like it blatantly advocates being a drunken whore, and I like the rawness of it.
Kesha does rock.
You're stranded on a desert island, could take only 3 CDs for the rest of eternity. Assuming you had a solar-powered CD player, what would they be?
If I was stranded on a desert island, the number one record I would want in my possession is Between the Buried and Me Colors. So every single time I listen to the album, it just takes me away from whatever's making me mad that day, or if I'm, it doesn't really matter what's going on. If I'm stressed out, I can listen to that album and just relax.
If I was stranded on a desert island, the CD I would definitely want to have with me would be the Rust in Peace album by Megadeth, because I think it's the greatest album ever written back in 1990. What's your number 2?
The second album I would have in my possession would most likely be the Black Album from Metallica. I've always loved it since I was little. It was kind of what got me inspired into metal. It's just a great album to have. I'd say for the number 3rd album in my possession, I'd probably have to have Allegion's Form Shifter, because they're really good friends of ours, and I love their music, and I love that album. It's a great release also.
For me, I think the second album after the Rust in Peace album would definitely be the Painkiller album by Judas Priest, which is coincidentally also from 1990, which was coincidentally the year I was born. That's another one of those landmark records, I think, that like made me want to play guitar, because it's freaking sweet. And as far as the 3rd album, probably be an album called Animal by Kesha. It's got for good songs on it, and that would just be a nice change of pace from Megadeth and Judas Priest.
You have any culinary training at all?
I absolutely, positively love food, and I grew up getting to work with awesome chefs. A little bit of schooling in that. I learned from a lot of stuff for friends, and I've gotten some opportunities to run some restaurants with those friends. It was it's definitely a hobby. It's something I'm very, very, very passionate about, and I really do care if what I'm making, people what they think about, what their palate thinks about it in their mouth.
My formal culinary training is limited, and it really doesn't go beyond my ability to use the microwave or open the refrigerator. But I am definitely an avid consumer of prepared food.
What's next for Artemesis?
Dinner.
What's next for Artemesis? We're going to submit all of our new stuff to major labels. We kind of see where it goes from there. We're just going to try to, we want to do this. We all have the passion to do this. At the end of the day, we would, it'd mean a lot to us if we could get our music out there and get people listening.
Like you said, major labels. We're hoping for Young Money. Be kind of stable mates with Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne and all those guys. If that doesn't pan out, we're hoping for Metal Blade Records or Nuclear Blast, one of those more genre-specific labels. But what he said, what's next is hopefully some distribution.
Yeah, we just hope people like it. We work very hard on it. We want to take it to the next level, and here we are.
Would you say you want to push it to the limit?
I would say I would like to jump the limit. Yeah.
You don't jump the limit, you push it to the limit. Right. The limit's something you don't want to go over.
Why? Because
it's dangerous to pass the limit.
But there are no limits in our world.
He's right. There's a trick question.
Alright, so now my favorite part of the show is the eating. And since we're doing this by remote, I'm going to give you the camera. Take it away, and we're going to go ahead and follow you to the kitchen. Keep it metal.
I'm Sam Johnson. Welcome to Brutally Delicious. This is Jesse Brookshire. We're going to make you guys some lobster tacos.
Oh my fucking
And
God.
now we gotta find the tamale. Oh, look at that. We're searching for eggs right now.
If this is female, we definitely want to get the roe out of her.
And there they are. Alright. This right here is a delicacy. That is lobster roe. We're not going to use that in the dish tonight, but these have 2 different cook times on them. We're going to cook the body first for 7 minutes, and 2 minutes in, we're going to cook the tail for the last 5 minutes. And over here is our court bouillon.
Basically, a court bouillon is what we're going to put submerge the lobsters into to cook them. Court bouillon is basically aromatic kind of infused water, which we're using limes, onions, chili flakes, and salt today. So we're gonna go ahead and drop them inside the pot and let them get to their cook temp.
So we're gonna drop the body first, 2 minutes in, then goes the tail. Now we're 2 minutes in, we're gonna drop the tail. 5 minutes, we're gonna pull it out and throw it in some ice cold water. Stop that cooking process.
What you're seeing in the pot right now is just nerve endings of the lobster. The actual lobster it's deceased.
This is literally like Cannibal Corpse.
Absolutely. After we pulled them out of the pot and they're down to the right temp, we decided we were going to put them in an ice bath because it's going to bring them back down to a cold temperature real quick to prevent the meat from overcooking.
Alright, so we got our lobster here, 2 pieces. Basically with this first part, you're going to rip the claw out. Both of them. There's still meat in these too, so don't discard that. Grab a rolling pin and get that out of there.
For the tail, I like to use kitchen shears because it's really efficient and easy.
Kitchen shears.
You just break it in half, rip that
Yeah.
shell completely off.
Look at that meaty little bastard.
God, that is a good little chunk.
With these claws, some big claws, we're gonna rip out this first part. Oh, look at that. And that.
Completely right off the bat, what we're going to do is we're going to break this down into little chunks. So what I have here is a pan of melted, very, very hot butter. We're going to poach the lobster meat inside the butter on the stove after we get it fabricated.
Exactly. And the meat's pretty much fully cooked, so you don't have to poach it too far. But with these claws, you want to be careful and make an incision with a knife. These are really thick. And then break it.
The goal here is you want to cook the meat to the right temperature to where it's not going to be too chewy like rubber. Because any type of seafood, no matter what you're cooking, fish, scallops, doesn't matter. Lobster, crab, you overcook it, it's going to be a disaster.
Boom. So make an incision on that claw. You want to break the tendon away, and then that is all meat.
Straight into the butter. We go.
Deliciousness. Same thing with this one. Lost the claw down. That'll happen. Don't worry, there's still meat in there. And it helps if you have some shears here. Really get in there.
That's the end of it. We can just throw it away.
And boom, meat.
Seafood, a long time ago in England when there was prisoners taken, they used to actually feed them lobster because they thought it was degrading. And now the American society and everybody across the world pays about $60 a plate for a big fat piece of 14-ounce lobster tail. So you can just kind of go to see that the prisoners back in the day did not really have it that bad. So basically what we're going to do right now is we're going to make a roasted pepper slaw. We have Savoy cabbage and red cabbage, about a cup of each. What we're going to do is you want to kind of shift and knob the cabbage so it's very, very fine dice. I'm going to throw that in there. Sorry. And what we want to do is lay the peppers out. We used poblanos and jalapenos for this because I think they're going to give the best flavor contrast for the actual dish. So what we want to do is kind of cut them into the strips.
So basically when you roast these peppers, you're going into a broil oven. The highest temp you can get, throw them straight in there. You can toss them in oil if you want. Once they start charring on the outside, you basically pull them out. Let them steam in a bowl with a little bit of saran wrap.
You throw that right in the bowl right there.
Them.
Jalapenos have already been deseeded, so there's not going to be a significant amount of heat on them. If you do not deseed a jalapeno, you're going to look for the burn. The burn's definitely going to be upon you. Depends on how hot you like it.
Burn notice.
Next, we're gonna go ahead and add our mayonnaise.
It's about a half cup. Got about a cup of each cabbage and about a cup of the peppers, depending on how hot you want it.
We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit, of course, salt. About a little pinch, it's all you need. And then we're gonna add about a half of a lime to this as well.
Alright, well Sam's got that slaw going. We're gonna go ahead and get our salsa. This is gonna be the topper. We got a little bit of diced mango, a little bit of diced fresh pineapple, and some Olathe sweet corn that we roasted in the oven. As you can see here, we roasted it in the husk, and then we took the corn right off the cob. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add about a cup of the mango. I'm gonna add about half cup of the pineapple and about a third of a cup of the corn. Add about a tablespoon of salt. And it's pretty basic, that's about it for the salsa. Let's give that a toss. And then we're gonna move on.
It's very important to use the sanitized rags during any sort of baking process because, like I said, you definitely don't want to wake up in the morning and have an issue on your hands. Next, we're going to make the garnish for our lobster tacos today. It's going to be a roasted cumin and coriander creme fraiche. So basically, you want about a cup of sour cream. We're going to take some heavy whipping cream, add about maybe a fourth of a cup to it. We already toasted off some cumin and coriander, a little bit of coarse salt. Put it aside, and we're just going to blend it. We're also going to add lime to finish it off once this is blended, and cilantro. Finish it off with about another half of a lime. Just squeeze it. You might squirt a little bit. I mean, that's fine. It might hit you in the eye. It's happened to me numerous times. There we go. We got our roasted coriander and cumin creme fraiche.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, so what we got here is a little bit of egg roll wrap or any sort of gyoza, wonton skin. We seared it in a hot pan just to so it keeps its shape once we hit the hot oil. What we're going to do is take 350-degree vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you want, with a pair of tongs. You're going to fry it for about 15 to 20 seconds. Make sure it holds its shape. And what we're doing is we're going to make little mini tacos.
So basically now we're going to go to the plating of the lobster tacos. We've got all of our accoutrement and all of our ingredients set. What we're going to do is take about a half of a teaspoonful dollop of sour cream, or sorry, guacamole. Put it on the plate like that. We're going to take taco shells that we made earlier, and we're going to stick them. Next, you measure out about maybe about an ounce of lobster. You don't need too much because you still got a lot of other ingredients to fit inside there. It's a little bit too much. That's perfect right there. We're going to take our slaw. Actually, we're going to take our pineapple and corn salsa. I'm going to set that right on top. Just need a little bit, about an ounce of each. And we're going to take our slaw here. lightly hit it with a little bit of cilantro. Very light. You just want like a kind of like a dust just for color. And the fresh lime, squeeze it right on top. We're gonna hit it with fresh cream fresh. Just a little dollop of each. And there you go. Lobster tacos. I'm Sam Johnson.
I'm Jesse Brookshire.
This has been Brutally Delicious. Check out my band Artemesis. Hope you guys enjoy your tacos. Cheers.